I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to more iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham. Pleasure to be joining you from the NRN World Broadcast Headquarters here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Tonight, we are heading off to West Virginia for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. They will be taking on Summit Point Raceway, and I am joined in the booth tonight by Mr. James Watson. As always, it is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here, James. We got an interesting show coming up here, bud, because last season, this race was an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, I'd start singing Country Roads to really bring home the whole dumpster fire, but that probably gets taken off the air, not for DMCA, but my horrible singing. But yeah, I think we all have last season's race pretty well burned in the back of our minds, watching literally half the field die halfway through the first lap. I don't think we're going to see that again because, these are top tier guys and can learn from their mistakes and such, but anything can happen. Again, this is a tight track, very small, very narrow, very hard to pass. So we could see guys get impatient and throw the ill-advised move, and I doubt we'll see a full replay of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a couple more big melees here this time around.
Yeah, following along here with Ed Samborski on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen is Graham Sanders. Oh, and Samborski goes off the racetrack. Lap number 1 will not score for Samborski. That's
Chris, Graham, can you check the secret chat? I think we may have some technical difficulties here.
Let's see here. It should be coming through. Let me take a look. Hearing that my mic isn't coming through. Thank you for the heads up there, by the way, Kylo. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I can hear myself now. We should be good. So still waiting on the first laps to come through. Yeah, Alex is checking in saying he can hear us just fine. So yes, we're good now. Good Lord, making me panic, Kylo. Oh, that's weird. You had nothing when I was on camera, huh? All right. Those are two completely separate things, but all right. Still waiting on our first laps to come in here. I'll tell you what, how about this for a depth of field, though, James? 38.66 as Tyler Campbell sets the first quick lap. Graham Sanders going to go up to a 105.152. Rod Eskew, he was worried about making top split. He's going to sneak in at a 105.153. That's a very quick lap time.
That is. That's very nice.
Let's take a look here. We'll pick up, let's pick up Nagisa Yoshikawa here. There he is. Got Nagisa on the left-hand side of your screen. He's been responsible for one of the better setups this week. And this place, oddly enough, it sounds like it's going to be a little bit setup dependent.
Yeah, the grip level at this track is weird. So if your setup isn't really helping you out, you're kind of going to be struggling a lot. It's not like... And you have to put a lot more driving skill into it. You got to really kind of power slide it around the corners, a little more so, in my opinion, to most of the other tracks on the schedule. But what do I really know about that? But yeah, that setup has been responsible for quite a few wins this week.
Well, and while we're doing it here, tell everybody where you can get your hands on that setup.
Yeah, look out for a nice little announcement for coming from Team Watson Racing here in within the next coming days.
Oh, okay. So I guess we're not announcing it yet then, huh? Well, that's no fun.
It's an announcement of an announcement. It's commonplace nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Drive up hype and other nonsense like that.
Yes, nonsense like that. Pick up Kylo Ciacelli. He is going to be the last car to complete his laps. John Badifer with a great lap, 104.59. But David Porcelli, man, he's continuing the run here. And we got to get the graphics ready to go here so we can tell you what's coming up. Tell you about the race and all that kind of fun stuff here. As we mentioned, this is Summit Point Raceway, located in Summit Point, West Virginia. 2 miles, 3.22 kilometers. 10 turns, opened in 1970. We're into the drop weeks here, James, and this is going to become important in just a moment. Round 9 of the championship, 28 laps will be the distance. Local cautions only, so no restarts, no overtime. But here's where things become important. David Porcelli is your championship points leader, and he's going to sit on pole here tonight. John Badifer sitting 75 points back, followed by Graham Sanders, 150 points back of Porcelli. Everett Paddock in fourth, 260 back, and Ed Samborski in fifth is almost 500 points back. But the big caveat to that, Ed Samborski has an entire week I know of that's a drop week because he didn't run IRP last week. When you start to factor in the drop weeks at the end of the week, these gaps are going to be significantly different. We could see an entirely different top 5 by the time we're ready to roll next week.
Yeah, we're just now getting into droplet territory, so everything could be flipped, twisted, turned upside down.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly for what we could see here. Tell you a little bit about the race cars here as we watch Kylo Ciacelli complete his qualification run. Chassis manufactured by Tatus, powered by Mazda 2-liter engines, making 275 horsepower. Zippy little things to get around the racetrack. These cars are a blast. And that should be the last car to qualify here. Everybody has gotten their requisite 2 laps, so we'll see Kylo Ciacelli bail out of the car. The ticker's down to 33 seconds or so remaining in qualifications, but it will be David Porcelli and John Bedifer making up row number 1. While we have a second here as we get ready for the grid to start shaping up, let's take a look and talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule for this Indy Pro 2000 Championship. This is causing some consternation amongst the natives. Next week, we head off to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to run the road course. Not sure why iRacing didn't give us the update this week. Boo. Following that, we're going to head off to the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. As always, that race is going to be epic. And then the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. I have heard rumors of drivers, boycotting. I've also heard rumors of drivers mapping flight stick controls so you can set the throttle to full and all you got to do is turn your hands a little.
Yep, that's it in its entirety. You're just going to be flat to the floor, holding the inside line, and that's that. We've done extensive testing, and you can't really form a line on the outside. So it's basically just going to be either single file or mass chaos of people trying to do ill-advised moves. And also, fun fact, it's about 4 minutes a pace lap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
we better hope.
Yeah, really. Let's lock in on this one here because we've got a fun one coming up here tonight. David Porcelli and John Bedifer are going to occupy the front row for this one. They will line up just ahead of Everett Paddock and Graham Sanders on row number 2. Ed Samborski and Nagisa Yoshikawa will occupy the third row for this evening's race. They will be followed to the green by James Galloway and Tyler Campbell. Rod Eskew and Kylo Ciacelli on row number 5. Row 6 will have Mike Holler and Chris Preston. Row 7, Russ Addy and Jason Miller. Row number 9, row 8, Benjamin Kopke and Nicholas Staley rounding out our 16-car field. I believe 29 was the total number of entries here this evening. 16 and 13 across 2 splits. Field's going to pull away, and this will be a full pace lap. Plenty of time for these drivers to get the tires warmed up. But, James, let's kind of talk everybody through the lap here. We'll get you the overhead shot from the blimp. Long run down the front straightaway. The draft will come into play at least a little bit down this straight before we get to a basically 90-degree turn 1.
Yeah, it's really tight here, and you can kind of brake a lot later than you would think, but you have to be careful. Well, you're probably going to want to get down into about first gear early on, but kind of staying in second as the run goes on may be the way to go. And then you come in. Go on.
I'd say, well, 1, 2, and 3 are almost like one big complex. Then you have the blast down to the left hand here at turn 4. This set up the trouble zone that we saw last season. This big run down towards turn 5 is where all hell broke loose.
Yeah, that corner is a bear, especially on cold tires, because the fronts don't grip. So you're going to see a lot of cars understeering all the way out into the kitty litter. Now, you can go pretty far out into the kitty litter without triggering a 1X, but you also got to be careful. And right there, that's the corner that set up last season's event.
Yeah, it was kind of a mess. And then it's another big sweeping set of corners through this very cool little set of S's. These cars are a blast to watch kind of switch back their way through here.
They really are, but it's just so tight. So if you can't get a move done down into turn 5, you kind of have to sit behind the car ahead until you get back onto at least this part of the track. And that's what sets up a lot of chaos. Is just sometimes it's hard to have that patience to wait for basically another quarter of the lap.
Yep, into the final corner, you'll see the pace car duck in, and they are quickly on the throttle. David Porcelli does not want to get caught out into turn number 1.
Yeah, you don't wait at here. Right there is where you always go.
Big move by Betafer up on the outside. He's going to tuck right back in. Side-by-side battle, Sanders and Paddock. Going to be side-by-side for the race lead as well. Porcelli able to get just out ahead. Oh, but he dips a wheel off into the kitty litter. This is going to open the door for Betafer. This is almost a carbon copy of what we saw last year. Oh, and he's off the racetrack. Almost makes contact. Betafer swings wide. New race leader, Graham Sanders.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't worse.
Wow, they got away with one in a very, very big way. Now, David Porcelli just crossing the start-finish line. I don't think he hit anything. But
no, he kept off the wall and kept out of John, but he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Take a look and see what happened here. You'll see Porcelli swung just a little bit wide, got it out on the grass, able to get the car woed up, right, going full Tony Hawk there off the infield berm. But he's able to keep the car on the racetrack. So we'll go back to the live look here. Graham Sanders opening up a bit of a lead on John Betafer. Good battle here back in the pack. Chris Preston, Russ Addy. Also, Jason Miller going to be involved in that one as well. So we'll go side by side here. Your race leaders on the right-hand side of the screen. We'll be battle chasing throughout the night. Here on the left side. Trying to keep you as filled in as we possibly can. David Porcelli is driving mad. 105.17 for a new fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately, he's still going to be back in the 15th position.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun watching him trying to make his way back up. Oh, I like the looks of that.
Oh, what a gutsy move by Preston down to the inside. Not going to be able to get past Holler, though. Now he's going to have the peek to the inside. Holler able to slam the door. Seeing one car getting a little bit off into the kitty litter. Battle for the race lead is still pretty good as well. Sanders and Betafur doing the teamly thing, running nose to tail. Absolutely love that shot of those cars snaking through the S's there.
I love it. It's gorgeous to watch. Yeah, I think it just might be those two at this point. I think Everett is just starting to lose the draft.
Yeah, looks like the gap's going to be about 1.2 seconds back to Everett Paddock. 3 wide down the front straight. This is never a good idea.
Oh,
A little bit of right side romance. No, I'm sorry. That was left side lovin' from Chris Preston on Russ Addy. Oh, man. How about this fight? Jason Miller, Rod Eskew, Nicholas Daly going to be involved in that one as well. Seeing several cars have had some relatively minor off tracks, but nothing else of really big note to report here.
Oh man, look who just joined to the end of that train.
Let's see. Yeah, David Porcelli is going to be right here as well, trying to claw his way back to the front.
Wow. Man,
Let's
what
go on board with Porcelli here, side by side.
If you look closely, you can kind of see the red mist start to tint the screen a little bit.
And it is so hard not to overdrive the car. You know you have pace. At this point, you're not sure if you have any damage. You don't think you do. But it is so easy to just try and really overdrive the race car.
Yeah, races like this, you tend to learn a lot about the drivers and who can handle things better. Or we've talked on these broadcasts many times about how you respond to a mistake. Like, what the mistake isn't the problem, it's how you react to it. If you don't calm yourself down and get recentered and refocused, you end up making a hell of a lot more mistakes that just make things worse. So the best drivers can take that mistake and go, okay, that happened, it's not going to happen again, and then put on absolutely amazing drives like what we're seeing from David here. Like a track that's really hard to pass, and he's just knocked off 4 guys in the lap like it was nothing.
Man, what a move by Chris Preston into that final corner. Sneaks by Russ Addy, but Addy going to have the run down the front stretch. Addy able to get the spot into 1. Preston going to try to pull back up out of 2. Not going to work that
got
time.
Company already.
Yeah. Man, that is such an easy section. You can see the cars are basically sliding through corner exit. So easy to put yourself off on the wrong side of the racetrack there.
Yeah, this track is just so dangerous. If you just push it just that little bit farther, it will hurt you. And that's what makes this such a fun track, is because you have such little room for error.
Yeah, it's barely 3 race cars wide. I mean, call it what it is. This is a very, very narrow racetrack, which It's going to make passing difficult, but it also means you really have to be precise in where you're going to attempt a pass.
Exactly. Like, this really is... This track really does feel like country roads in West Virginia, because it's so narrow, and it's just right there in among... Like, come on, look at that. That's almost literally a forest.
Yeah, this place would never see a real-world running for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Literally large sections of this racetrack with no barriers of any kind. I love all the grass runoff, but there's nothing in front of entire groves of trees.
Yeah, the grass runoff is fine. The tree runoff is not. And while it's fun to yeet your car on iRacing into the trees, it's not that as fun to yeet your car into the trees in real life.
No. So let's see if David Porcelli is going to be able to get around Rosati here, and it looks like he will, down into turn one as Everett Paddock sets a new fastest lap of the race. Paddock at a 104.770.
Yeah, looking at the right screen and the timing and scoring, the Giudessa guys have some company. Look at that. Everett, Ed, and is that Kylo that start? I think Kylo is even in the battle too.
Yeah, Kylo is absolutely starting to catch up to these guys. Take a look. We'll go on board here with Everett Paddock as he is chasing down John Badifer. Again, going to get the huge toe down this front straightaway. We'll see if he peeks out. You can see him back off there about 3/4 of the way down the straightaway. Quite frankly, just doesn't want to take the chance yet.
Yeah, I think this is one of the many times we watch all of them just kind of sit behind one another in the draft and just wait for the laps to tick off.
I mean, there really is no incentive to beating the car up at this point, trying to make a pass, because there's just too many slipstream opportunities left. My gut tells me you're going to see that. You're going to start to see the things really get racy. Down 8 to go, 5 to go, something like that.
Yeah, because while there's a lot of opportunity to slipstream, there's a lot less compared to some of the other circuits we go on. So you are going to see the moves be made a little earlier just because you have a lot more tight and twisty bits than, say, Road America or Spa.
Already approaching the halfway point here at Summit Point. Only other real battles going on the racetrack right now. Going to be this fight that involves, let's see, Rosati, Chris Preston, Rod Eskew, Jason Miller a little bit back of them.
Yeah, I wonder if David might have had some sort of off, because I could have sworn he was a lot closer to Haller than he was like a lap ago.
Battle for the race lead heating up. John Badifer sets a new fastest lap and takes the lead before they get to turn number one. Badifer with a lap time of 104.744.
I wonder if we're going to see Ed try to make a move on Everett here. He's looking pretty racy.
almost seems like every time Everett starts to see Ed reel him in a little bit, he just picks up that little bit of extra pace, and then all of a sudden you're right back to opening the gap up a little bit and being all over the attenuator of Graham Sanders.
Yeah, he looks in his mirror and he's like, nope, don't like that, and pushes the pedal down a little harder.
A little bit of a bobble by Betaford. That allowed Sanders to really get up underneath. We'll see if Graham's going to go on the attack here down the front stretch.
Yeah, I'm also keeping an eye on some of the timing and scoring when Purcelli is really reeling in Haller down to a 1.5 seconds now.
And outside of...
Kylo,
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it looks like Kylo has also kind of fallen off the lead battle here, and Tyler Campbell has also started to catch up to him.
The only other battle on the racetrack is going to be 12, 13, 14, 15. Russ Addy, Nicholas Daly, Jason Miller, and James Galloway. So we'll get them up on the right-hand side of the screen for you. Let you follow along with that battle. Take a look in the comments here. Jared LaSala saying, let's go Kylo. Kylo not having a bad run inside the top 5 tonight. Have to say a big thank you to him. Tuesday, my voice was absolute hot garbage. So Kylo and Kevin Smalley picked up the call of the TNT Shock Series for me. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. It is appreciated.
Oh, there's contact! Oh!
Nicholas Daly, Rod Eskew going to get jammed up, jelly tight. Take a look at the replay. See what happened here down into turn 1. Oh, just a little bit of an overcooked. Daly maybe getting a little bit optimistic.
Yeah, it was strange. Yeah, I think both cars are pretty well messed up. A little extra camber on the 16 of Rod Eskew now.
Kylo making a big move down to the inside of the 12
Ooh.
Of Campbell.
Wow. Tense moments watching that as I own both cars.
Seeing after that incident, Nicholas Daly had another off track for about 2 seconds. He is back underway, however, but he will be shotgun on the field. A couple of hard chargers tonight. Kylo Ciacelli is up 4 to run in the 6th position. Tyler Campbell up 3, running in 5th, as is Mike Holler running in 8th.
Yeah, but I think he might only be up 2 here within the next few seconds because David is well underneath half a second.
Oh, man, another big off track there for John Betaford.
Yeah, that one was definitely a 1x.
Swings it a little bit wide on corner exit, too. That's a very short switchback, too. You almost have to exit the corner narrow just so you can be set up to flip the wheel back the other way.
100%. And that little set of corners has always been a bit of a pain to set up. It's great when you get it right, but it's not that easy to get it right. Again, at least for me.
Down to 10 to go. Ted Burns, you're not on my favorite people list this week. Checking in on YouTube saying, go DFR. Wish I could be racing with you guys. Saying hi from Miami. Enjoy the warmth down there, buddy.
Enjoy the racing down there.
If we can call it racing, what they're going to do down there, but yeah.
I mean, it's still going to be the racing's going to be more real than the water, at least.
Can confirm. If you are enjoying the show, give it a like, give it a share. We appreciate it. Thank everybody tuning in on YouTube and on Twitch. My name is Chris Graham. James Watson alongside me in the booth here tonight. So Betafer and Sanders they're playing nice so far. The question becomes, at what point are they no longer playing nice as we go on board here with Everett Paddock in the side-by-side?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, because you still have to play some nice, because you have Everett and you have Ed right there willing to pounce if you just are a little too aggressive and you fight just a little too hard. So you're going to try to make a move, but you can't do something too crazy that costs you or your teammate the win.
Ted's saying Miami is for work, but he did sit on the water today. I think he means the fake marina. Oh, Everett getting a little bit off track. That's going to open the door for Ed Samborski.
That's exactly what the Geodesa guys want to see.
Oh, man, there it is. Big blast through for Ed Samborski. Everett Paddock going to fall back to the 4th position.
Yeah, I think Everett knows that if he even thought about fighting that, he'd completely tank both of their chances of hang on to it, Everett.
Paddock having another off track. Now, that's really changed the complexion of things a little bit here, too, because, well, maybe not. Because Ed Samborski just made up a ton of ground into the twisty bits here.
Yeah, Ed's not wasting any time getting back up there.
Not wasting any time, and more importantly, he's back within draft range. He was about 9/10 of a second back, entering that section of the race course.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot from him to keep within the draft. Whereas Everett, I think, may be all she wrote, depending on how hard they start racing.
Well, and that begs the question, if you're Betafer, Sanders, Samborski, even Paddock, you know that David Porcelli is not in your relative. He's the point leader by a wide margin. This is a week to make up a ton of ground at this point. Is it worth the risk?
I feel like Graham and John may have different answers to that. They're in a better position to be able to go, you know what, this is good points regardless. Ed, however, has some ground to make up. Yeah, he's run one less week, but he's also had a lot of bad luck races. If Ed wants to bring home the championship, he has to seize his remaining opportunities. This is a remaining opportunity. I don't think he could realistically be able to go, I'm just going to sit here in third.
It's a great point. So we're down to 6 laps to go. Everett Paddock is losing ground at this point. Guy who's not is Ed Samborski. He's close. Quite frankly, and getting closer. Right up underneath the rear wing of Graham Sanders. 5 to go at the line.
Oh boy, what's going to happen?
Let's go on board here with Ed Samborski.
Look at the ground Edward can make up right there. That is incredible. He's just so much more
like he's
on the brake.
Well, or is he running a bunch more downforce? Oh, saw him get off the racetrack a little bit.
Downforce didn't help him there. Oh, that is disastrous. That may be all she wrote.
Yeah, it sort of looks that way here. As the gap is now over 1 second. However, your top 2 are still going to battle for position.
I think Tyler Campbell may have had it off. Speaking of off.
Yep, Tyler Campbell was off the racetrack. Kylo Ciacelli was also off the racetrack. Picking up Nagisa Yoshikawa here. This is going to be Ciacelli, Campbell, and Yoshikawa. Relatively close to one another.
Yeah, and they have David. This helped David immensely.
Yeah,
he's only a second and a half off of Yoshikawa.
David Porcelli could theoretically finish as high as 5th if he's able to put some big-time heaters together here. When is the move going to come? Down to 3 laps to go.
I honestly say we're going to see a last lap lunge.
Oh, what a save by Sanders. And I'll tell you what, Ed Samborski is closing in a huge way. The gap was over a second and a third. It's now down to right about 9/10.
He is driving the wheels off of this thing.
And literally what we're seeing tonight is one mistake can cost you the race. Now, if you're Graham Sanders, you know if you pull out a line, it's going to open up the door for Samborski to get an even bigger tow. He's going to do it here with 2 to go. Sanders to the inside. Betafer has to run a little bit wide. New race leader Graham Sanders. Where does Betafer try the comeback move?
I don't think we're going to see it here. I think we're going to see it on the front stretch again.
Oh, good Lord, he is right there. Going on board with John Betafer.
Big wiggles.
The gap's down to a half second to Samborski in third. White flag out this time, 1 to go here at Summit Point. There's the view back to Samborski. It's a 3-car battle for the race win. Bedifer's up the inside. Oh man, Sanders, huge chop block. Oh, he's all over the place. The squirrels are out. Samborski looking to the outside. Not able to make the move. Not many chances left, but the big one is coming right now. Through the final corner, checkered flag will go in the air. Graham Sanders gets the win. Who gets second? John Bedifer at the line by 7/100ths of a second over Ed Samborski. Well done, gents. That was spectacular. Absolutely thrilling battle over those last handful of laps.
That was incredible. My heart was in my throat watching that.
Still waiting on the last couple of cars to finish up here, but my goodness, what a run. Graham Sanders getting the win over teammate John Bedifer. I'll tell you what, James, that one was fun.
That was. I tell you, we need to keep Summit Point on the schedule. This place does not disappoint.
You know what? It is truly a bullring of road courses.
It is, but like you can still pass. Like we saw a lot of moves being made. Like it wasn't follow the leader. You could make a pass. And the passes we saw were absolutely fantastic.
So let's take a look here at the race results. Graham Sanders getting the win by, call it 0.4 of a second over teammate John Bedifer. Ed Samborski going to come home in third. Everett Paddock and Kylo Ciacelli will round out the top 5. Nagisa Yoshikawa, Tyler Campbell, David Porcelli, Mike Holler, and Chris Preston complete your top 10. Russ Addy, James Galloway, Jason Miller, Benjamin Kopke, Nicholas Daly, and Rod Eskew complete tonight's 16-car entry list. Taking a look, waiting for some of our drivers to see who we may be able to get here for an interview. And well, we have our race winner popping into the booth, so we'll get the cameras queued up here and ready to go. And let's start things off with our race winner tonight. This guy put on an outstanding show all the way around. It was a lot of fun to watch. Graham Sanders, congratulations. probably a little bit more effort than you were thinking you would want to put in here tonight, but congratulations. That was a hell of a run.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a really fun race. Got a bit lucky there on lap 1. That was really close between John and David. But yeah, us two just kind of wanted to just stay in line most of the race. I had a kind of a bad exit on the last corner, and then John took the lead. And then it was the same agreement as Nürburgring. Last 2 laps, we'll battle, and it got really close there at the end, but it was fun.
I would imagine the thought probably crossed your mind at some point that when you saw David have his issue, you knew this had the potential to be a big points night for both of you guys on the team. Was that discussed at all in the team discords or team speaks or whatever, or is it a little bit too much thought for race time?
It was kind of a given. We both kind of have been in this position numerous times this season and last season, so we kind of know what we got to do to maximize our team result, and I think we did a pretty good job at that.
Well, yeah, I would say so. And what were your thoughts here? You see Ed closing back in the relative. He had his issue with 3 or 4 laps to go, and all of a sudden, with 1 to go, he's there. You run with him a ton, but what's that kind of that? Does that change the way you two race at all?
We had to kind of change it a little bit there towards the end. I'm pretty sure we were on the lowest wing of all the cars today. Edward was running a bit more wing. So I kind of had to defend the inside. So John pulled to the inside and kind of helped me out there a little bit. But yeah, I was definitely worried about him passing, or at least trying to make that overtake the first chance he got. And we managed to hold him back.
Yeah, we're seeing you all sorts of squirrely on the white flag lap. How tough was it to control this thing around this place tonight? It was, it looked like a handful.
Yeah, that was, it was really tough. Really fun though. We were actually running the same setup we used last season. It worked out pretty well for me with Ed. So we ended up taking the same setup. It's really loose, as you saw there on that last lap, but it's a freaking missile on the front straight. So it's a really, really fun car to drive around this track.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again on the win here, and quite frankly, a monster points night. We'll see how that shakes out with the drop weeks kicking in here, but make sure you get all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you out of here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys. I just want to thank the team, all the sponsors, Alpine Stars, Wave Italy, GoPro, GSI, and of course John for great teamwork today, and of course you guys for the fantastic broadcast. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. We appreciate the kind words, and let's bring in the man who was runner-up by 7/100ths of a second. Yes, it was that tight at the end, Mr. John Bedifer. And man, I'll tell you what, John, you had your hands full. You racing your teammate. Ed was all over you from behind. Everett was battling you at points. This was like a constant. Were you looking in the mirrors as much as ahead of you, or are you feeling dizzy at all from your head spinning?
Yeah, it was definitely in the beginning just trying to make a gap to Everett, and we did for a couple laps, but then Everett closed up. So from there, we were just trying to stay off each other, get through some laps, because I mean 28 laps here is it's pretty grueling. So then I jumped on Graham early to try and get ahead, and it didn't work out for me. So
tell us about the first lap. You had an interesting run-in with David. Were you having flashbacks to last season, and what was kind of going through your head in the moment there?
In the moment, I felt I was clear, and looking at the replay, I think I was. So I was going to run the defensive line into the hairpin, and I think David just tried to hang it around the outside and kind of ran out of space. So, yeah, a little bit of a flashback. I was happy to keep it off the grass for one, and then two, I don't know how he missed me going through. It was so close.
I was going to say that had to be a moment of absolute terror, seeing that race car sliding past and in front of you. How do you? I mean, obviously you gave up the spot to Graham in that exchange, but does it take you a lap or two to kind of go, okay, settle down, breathe, and start turning the laps again?
Yeah, luckily kept the draft with Graham, so I was able to close back up within a lap or two, and from there, I was just trying to be smooth and not make any mistakes, and hopefully come home with a 1-2, which happened. So good day for us.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again on the second place finish here tonight, and let's make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks guys again for the broadcast. Always fun to watch it back. Big huge thanks to Alpine Stars, Geodesic Racing, GoPro, Wave Italy, Omologato, and GSI.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here, and let's bring in our third place finisher tonight. This guy was a little bit of everywhere, involved in the fun, out of the fun, a little all over the place. Ed Samborski, congratulations. That just looked, quite frankly, insane. From what were you seeing from your perspective?
I think you summed it up perfectly. That's pretty much my headspace too. I wasn't driving overly fantastic tonight. Absolutely did not have a good lap in qualifying. Right from practice, I was just over driving, trying to find extra time. I was happy at least to close the gap up to them guys, because with the draft here, it's kind of expected to close up. It was like the previous season. I couldn't really find a way around, and I tried experimenting with different car setups, and I actually drove a different setup this week compared to last season. And I don't know, it's like a stalemate. I haven't been able to figure out something that I really like. So I'm happy with the third. It's a lot better than sixth, I think, or fifth, wherever I started. So you got to take it sometimes, you know?
Well, I was going to say, do you sort of hit a point where you just go, okay, this season, discretion, the better part of valor, we're going to start experimenting late in the season and kind of start looking towards 2022 season 3? Are we really talking about that already?
Yeah, I am. I've done everything I possibly could to make sure I'm not in the championship fight. So I've just kind of accepted that I need to regroup for next season. People are saying that I'm having trouble driving both cars and all this other stuff, and it's just merely the fact that I don't know the PM18 as well as I know the Formula Renault 3.5. It's just, when we go to these tracks, I don't know what I want to do with the setup. I don't know how I want to drive it. So every time I go, I get a little better, but and then the track changes, or you have a bad lap in qualifying, and and then it's all scrambled up again. So I I absolutely feel like I was a little out in space today. I was hanging out on the ISS, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what, the space was pretty darn close to the front here. Great battle with John over the last couple of laps. Man, thank you. That was a ton of fun to watch. Before we let you go here, though, make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
We got to thank Oliver for the new liveries. You've probably noticed, had them for a little while now, but in case anyone's missed a few weeks or is catching up or what have you, really fun design. We like it. Luckily we didn't rip anybody else off, and it's unique, but you can tell who's on the team. I got to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. That's fun. Thank the drivers for showing up. That's always fun. And thank Everett and company on the forums for all they do. And, we'll try again next week. I think I own all the tracks from here on out, so I'll loosely commit to everything. Although next week is crown replacement day, so I will see how messed up I am. We'll see how that goes. I'm getting a crown in. I mean,
good luck.
I can deal with some pain, but if I'm still Novocaine into what, then probably wouldn't be driving so well. But I'll be ready to see what happens.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. Hopefully we're talking to you next week. And man, I'll tell you what, James, that was interesting. A great race, really fun battles to watch. I don't know how much more we're really asking for here.
Yeah, super fascinating from beginning to end. Like, the battle for the lead was enthralling. Watching David on the recovery drive was enthralling. Like, I think this track has to be a mistake. Both races from this season and last season, last season, lap 1 melee notwithstanding, put on some great shows. I really hope we come back to here next season, because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do too. And I will be the first to admit that sometimes what we want is not necessarily what the drivers want, but that's part of the deal sometimes is we like it when they put on a great show. Summit Point puts on a great show every time out. And with that, though, we're going to wrap up our week of broadcast excellence here on the National Racing Network. Coming up Monday night, we'll be back with the Fuel Premier Series. Tuesday night, another round of the TNT Shock Series. Wednesday night, the Sim Racers Club back in action. Thursday, the triple header is scheduled to return. It'll be the High Side Hustle at 7 p.m., talking everything World of Outlaw Sprint Cars making their first trip into Pennsylvania. They're taking on the Posse for the first time this season. And a couple of PA guys won big money with the World of Outlaws down in Bristol. Don't think they're going to be real happy heading into our territory here. Following the High Side Hustle at 8:30 will be the Ezra IndyCar Series. Their next round is, I forget where. The Charlotte Roval. The Charlotte Roval. Yes, I love the Roval. We're going to follow that up. Follow that up at 10:15 in the East with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Yeah, I can't wait. It's the month of May. Open wheel cars, cars of all kinds on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the road course for that matter. Going to be a ton of fun. But with that, it is time for James and I to get the heck out of here. For Mr. James Watson and everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.